Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN 1326. This is a 2016 083, which is ultra white with LA30 red interior, for sale in Georgia on Auto Trader. $56,000 with 95,000 miles. And so currently it has no photos, but I do know that it was actually at Mannheim auction, and because I was at the F the Dragon rally, I wasn't able to do a video right away when it was at auction, but it sold at auction for $45,800 plus fees. So now they're asking $56,000, and so we'll get into that here in a little bit. Production statistics: 648 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were ultra white, and 361 had LA30 red interior. It is the most common color combo on these cars, white with red. 15.37% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo, so like a 1 out of 10 for rarity. You're gonna see a lot of them. For 2016, 372 out of the 1,418 cars were 083 ultra white, and 214 of those had LA30 red interior. This car was built February of 2016. Its in-service date was July 11th of 2016, and it has options 2Q, which is the all-weather floor mats, Mark Levinson OW orange calipers, and it has cargo net. It didn't come with the Z1 or Z2 package. It has the trunk mat, everything else. So if this car has that, it was added at a later date. Carfax, Epic VIN, and Auto Check. So my 2024 Carfax shows this as a 4-owner, 2 damage event that have occurred once in September of 2016. And it says minor, and 1 in May of 2021 to the right rear. So my 2026 Carfax all of a sudden shows this as a 4-owner, 1 accident car, the one in 2021, but the one in 2016 has disappeared. So in the 2021 damage event or accident also shows damage to the wheels, says they were damaged, repaired, or replaced, something like that. Epic VIN shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car. Auto Check shows this as a 4-owner, 1 accident car in May of 2021, shows minor damage and also repair or replacement of some of the wheels. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale in April of 2016 in Maryland, $87,000, and it sold in August of 2016, so about 4 months for sale, to a buyer in Virginia. It looks like then in November of 2018, it was for sale on Club Lexus for $55,000, and I guess it didn't sell. And then later that month, it was for sale still in Maryland, $58,000. 14,000 miles, and it sold in February of 2019. So about 3 months for sale, maybe 4 months, depending on how you want to calculate that, to a buyer in California. So this car has been in California since basically early 2019, so about 7 years or so. October of 2020, at a Chevy dealer in California for $45,000. Again, the cheapest you'd ever find these cars, 2019, 2020, 31,000 miles, and I guess it didn't sell. It was sent to auction. November of 2020, a dealer in Texas bought it, and they put it up for sale in November of 2020, $50,000 with 33,000 miles, and it now has aftermarket wheels. And it looks like it sold in April of 2021 to a buyer in Texas. And then about a month later is when that accident happened in May of 2021 to the wheels and the other minor damage. And then 3 months later, it was for sale again with different wheels. So this is the third set of wheels that it's had now. In July of 2021, $55,000 with 36,000 miles for sale in Texas, and it sold about a month later, August of 2021, to its 4th owner in South Carolina. So then August 14th of 2026, it was at Mannheim in the Desert Southwest region, 95,000 miles, and it sold for $45,800 plus fees. So somebody's in this probably around $47,000 plus shipping to get it to the dealer back in Georgia. So we could say they're probably in this car in the area of about $48,000 plus any reconditioning, anything like that. So here it is, August 20th of 2026 at a dealer in Georgia, $56,000 with 95,000 miles. So now into the photos. It looks like now it's sitting on its 3rd set of aftermarket wheels, so its 4th set of wheels, so it's probably had some kind of history there. Obviously one of the accidents is also involving replacing the wheels, but now it's on rotiform wheels, not really the wheels you would expect to see on a GSF, but here they are. And it's on Federal 595 SS tires, which are a fairly decent tire. They're about $180, $200 tires. and it looks like they're probably due for replacement. They have some underside photos and you can kind of see the insides of the tires. Looks like it's probably going to need tires pretty soon. The brakes, the pictures of the front brakes, they have a pretty decent lip on them. So again, when these cars come up for sale, they usually need brakes and tires. It's probably the case here. This car probably needs brakes and tires unless this dealer that bought it is going to do any of that. There are several chips up front on the bumper, on the hood, the leading edge of the roof, and so it probably doesn't have paint protection film. The underside looks pretty good. So remember, this car started its life on the East Coast, in Virginia, kind of the salt climate, not exactly, but probably not winter driven then, and as the rest of it has been in Texas and elsewhere, and so it looks pretty good underneath. The big one on this car is moisture in the passenger side headlight. So what do we know about that? We know you're going to be on the hook for probably in the area of about $4,000 unless you can find a used one. And so what happens is you can, for example, you park over a parking stone and you back up over it and it kind of pulls the bumper a little. Well, part of the headlight and the bracket, the bumper, everything there is attached to that. And so you crack the headlight housing. That's typically how this happens if it isn't a stone or something that hits it. Moisture gets in it, and then the moisture runs down. The daytime running light will stop working. Eventually the headlight will stop working and you get headlight errors and things like that on the dash, headlight malfunction, leveling malfunction, and you can't service them. So the headlight is like $3,700 or so to replace. And you can find a used one off of a 2016 and up GS350 all-wheel drive that was equipped with them, or the GS350 F Sport that had it equipped as optional. But what you would need there is you would have to swap the ECU off of the bottom because they are different, but the headlight itself is the same. And so that's a cheaper option if that's something you're looking for on this car. The center console armrest looks pretty rough. That's $300 or so to replace. You can go up to $500 if you want to just replace the entire assembly. There's some pretty good damage on the driver's side door, so you're going to have to replace or repaint that, probably repaint it. And the carbon fiber trim is delaminating on what appears to be all 5 pieces up front, which is very common. The dash, the doors, the center console, all of it appears to be in various levels of delamination. So as far as the price goes, if this car needed nothing with nearly 100,000 miles, in this market, this is like a mid-40s car at best. It obviously doesn't need nothing. It needs quite a bit. Brakes, tires, carbon fiber trim, headlight, the damage on the door, probably repaint the front end, things like that. There is a lot that this car needs. So the center console, it needs a bunch of stuff. And then we haven't even got to the maintenance history. So not even getting to that yet. I would probably think that this car probably needs to be in the upper 30s because it needs so much, unless this selling dealer is going to do something like that. But the price asking at $56,000, considering what this car needs when it was at auction, again, if they're going to recondition it, then maybe some of that is justified. But if it needed nothing, mid-40s. So if they didn't do anything to it, then it's probably, in my opinion, an upper 30s car, because a headlight, $4,000, brakes and tires, another $3,000 or $4,000, the carbon fiber trim, if you have them refinished, $1,000, if you replace them, like $10,000. There's a lot of money there depending on how you go about it. Replacing the center console or the lid, the damage on the door, the front end. You can see where I'm going with this. This car needs a lot, and it's not to say it's a bad car, it's just saying you're going to have a lot of stuff that you need to replace, and you can do it over time. It's not something that needs to be done right away. This car may have been driven like this for a significant amount of time. But yeah, I would put it in the upper 30s if nothing was done on this car. That's my opinion on it. So now to the service history. Pretty well dealer serviced. Not extremely well dealer serviced, but the first entry of note is April of 2017. The low pressure fuel pump was reprogrammed. That's the humming or buzzing you hear in the back seat. Most of these cars have that done. It was done here. April of 2018, the JLB recall was done. So that is the high pressure fuel pumps. Most of these cars, again, have that done. November of 2018, certified pre-owned prep, and they did front pads at 14,000 miles. Pads only, they did not do the rotors. November of 2019, the KLG was done. That is the GPS location reporting incorrectly, along with one of the servos underneath the dash. So it's already had that done, and the HVAC servo sweep was done at that time. Don't see any issues regarding the servos after that, but still do a pre-purchase inspection, check for stored codes, and of course, make sure the car is fully warmed up, set one side to max hot, one side to max cold. cycle through everything and then switch sides, make sure everything responds. If it doesn't, some of those are expensive to replace because it requires the dash to be removed. February of 2020, 26,000 miles, rear pads and resurfaced the rotors. April of 2022, 49,000 miles, front and rear brakes were done. So you're talking about 45,000 miles now on the front and rear brakes if they haven't been replaced. April of 2025, 84,000 miles, headlight malfunction. Right side headlight, it's got moisture in it. They declined the diagnostic and they replaced the battery with a new battery there. December of 2025, 89,000 miles. Coolant system was noted as having air in it, so they bled the cooling system. Maybe they did the valley plate, don't know, there's no further information there. And they replaced the passenger side front headlight. Said that they still had issues, along with it appears that they replaced the headlight ECU as well. All of those common issues happen when you get damaged, but it looks like they replaced it and they were still having problems. And then they replaced the headlight ECU underneath the headlight, probably because it got wet as well. Also in December of 2025, they replaced the fender liner that was damaged from the previous, when they had to replace the headlight, you have to remove the bumper, and so they damaged the fender liner there is what it sounds like. January of 2026, 89,500 miles. They replaced the passenger's front fender liner again. Don't know if maybe last time they ordered it and this time they replaced it. That's kind of what it sounds like. And that was basically the last service. So what is not done? I don't see anything about the valley plate, but there is a complaint about the coolant having air in it. Maybe that's from valley plate replacement, either DIY or a third party or something like that. But no evidence of the valley plate. The ZLZ, the sticky dash, the coverage is now expired, so you're on your own if the dash is sticky. Carbon fiber trim, obviously all 5 pieces are delaminating, so those need to be replaced. Don't see anything about the 60,000 mile service, which is the spark plugs, and the 100,000 mile service is coming up. That is the coolant. So obviously it had something going on with the coolant at one time. Transmission service, TVD service, kind of the usual things that you see on these cars, but I would probably look at the drive belt if it hasn't been replaced. Radiator hoses, rubber parts, everything on this car is now 10 years old. So anything like that, do a thorough pre-purchase inspection and satisfy yourself that all of that has been done, or if it hasn't, assume it hasn't, and you'll have to add that to the long list of things that this car needs in order to bring it up to snuff. So that brings me to what I buy this car. At this price and considering what it needs, at least at auction, no, I would pass on this one. Unless you can get it in the upper 30s, which obviously isn't going to happen because the dealer is in it probably $47,000, $48,000, which is already beyond where the full retail market price is for this car. But as I said, the market on these cars is extremely hot and it's very limited, so you have to pick and choose your battles carefully. And so this car needs a lot and it is priced extremely high, but and again, in my opinion, upper 30s is where this car probably needs to be unless this dealer addresses some of this. And so I would assume that they're probably not going to because of how much it needs, but I guess we'll see once we see photos. But that is what I've got for you guys, VIN 1326. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.